In the back of my mind, you died.
The body of a teenage girl is found in a Tesla. The vehicle is registered to a popular music artist known for his moody and emotional style.
You can tell a lot from how people look at a car at midnight. They glance, they hurry past, they make a joke about a flat tire. A car is a private place, a place of travel, or of hiding. On September 8, 2025, a Tesla in a Hollywood tow yard told a different story. The odor that drew officers there was the first, awful line in a sentence no one wanted to finish. Inside, they found human remains. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later identified the remains as those of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a girl reported missing from Lake Elsinore in 2024. Officials say the car was registered to a musician known to his fans as David, a young artist whose songs once trafficked in fragile, romantic images. That same car would, in the days after the discovery, become the axis around which 1,000 online whispers orbited. We'll be patient with facts here. This is a working investigation, search warrants executed, public records released, and a family whose life was altered forever. But it is also a story that social media rewrote as it went. Timelines, leaked chats, photos, and rumors stitched together into a narrative that is part evidence, part grief, part accusation. I will tell you both, what authorities have confirmed, and what the internet says, labeled clearly, because there is a difference between the two. The thread begins years before the towed Tesla. According to social posts that have since circulated widely, a series of small moments connected a young girl and a rising musician. In May 2022, when the girl would have been about 11, a public tweet from the artist read as a private invocation, a lyric, a sentiment, a plea that fans later looked back on with new horror. Around that time, posters online say the girl first appears in servers and chats connected to the artist's community. By the summer of 2022, the artist released music that, in retrospect, fans would parse like clues, songs about control, obsession, and doomed romance. In the months that followed, commenters say private chats grew more intimate. Pictures surfaced, then vanished. A minor's presence in an adult's orbit was not loud, it was a whisper, folded into DMs and private servers where power and anonymity skew the rules. We need to be blunt, online grooming rarely arrives as a shout. It arrives as validation, attention, gifts, a steady pull away from home and toward an older person who seems to understand. When the person on the other end has fame and a platform, the pull can feel like a promise. People in forums say that's what happened here, small steps, private praise, a normalization of secrecy. Whether every private message is authentic, whether every photograph is what it seems, those are questions investigators will answer. For now, the timeline online is a mosaic of claims and fragments, and one name recurs: Celeste. Small marks can carry enormous weight. A date, a symbol, a private joke. In this case, the mark was a tiny phrase, sh, a whisper inked on a right index finger. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's report noted a matching sh tattoo on the victim's finger. Photographs from September 2024 show the artist with a similar mark on his own hand. For a family, a tattoo becomes recognition. For the internet, it becomes proof. For investigators, it becomes a thread to follow. Online users pulled together a timeline, private Discord sightings, pictures from late 2023, a song people called Celeste's song, messages that spoke of dating. The timeline that circulates now places their first contact when she was around 12 and him in his late teens. Some posts allege her family's circumstances made her vulnerable, claims of neglect, of being traded or exploited by relatives in earlier years. But those claims are from forums, anonymous posts, and cannot be taken as confirmed fact. They are, however, part of how the public read the case. A young life slipping into an adult's orbit and no one listening. The danger here is not just in one person's choices. It is in the culture that makes a secretive relationship plausible, the celebrity worship, the tendency to excuse odd behavior as artistry, the way fandom can pool to defend the famous even when petals of a young life are falling away. Whether any one post is true or false, the pattern is familiar, and it is chilling. On September 8th, LAPD officers went to an impound lot after reports of a foul odor coming from a vehicle. Inside the trunk of a Tesla registered to the musician, they found human remains. Over the following days, the county medical examiner identified the remains as those of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, reported missing from Lake Elsinore in April 2024. Officials listed the cause of death as deferred, meaning determination was pending further investigation. Authorities executed search warrants and recovered evidence. The investigation remains active. Important to repeat, as of this moment, no criminal charge tied to the discovery has been resolved in open court. Law enforcement has not publicly named a suspect. David's representatives have said he is cooperating with authorities. He has canceled tour dates. Those are the facts investigators have confirmed to reporters. Everything else, accusations of motive, allegations of direct involvement, theories of cover-ups, live, for now, primarily on social platforms and in the fevered spaces of commentary. The family of Celeste has been made painfully public through this tragedy. Their grief is not an argument, it is a reality. People have gathered to mourn. Online, others have posted raw testimony of abuse, trafficking, trauma, their words a chorus that echoes the same question: why was she not seen? Why did the signals fail? Those cries matter. They will likely shape public perception long before legal answers arrive. Grief is not news. Grief is silence with an ache. The internet turned this case into 1,000 verdicts, some compassionate, some furious, many cruel. But let us be precise about what the facts show and what the facts do not. The facts: a decomposed body found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to a public figure. The remains were identified as a 15-year-old girl reported missing. Investigators have executed searches and are working the case. The rest, the private messages, the Celeste song connections, the claim of grooming from age 12, are allegations and social reconstructions that remain under scrutiny. But confirmation of facts doesn't erase the moral clarity here. Whether or not a particular person is charged, the pattern is clear. Children are vulnerable online. Fame multiplies power. Secrecy shields harm. The most bone-chilling part is mundane, that a community can both witness and normalize harm at the same time. Admiration becomes denial. Protection becomes silence. If anything in this account resonates, if you were that child, if you remember being small and told secrets that felt like loyalty, seek help. If you have information about Celeste's disappearance, contact the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division. Links are in the description. If you're safe, keep close to people who look for you, who ask where you are, who notice when you are late. If you're a parent, ask the right questions, not accusatory, but curious. Who are they talking to? What do they hide? Who buys them gifts only for their eyes? Fame makes the world watch. It does not, by itself, save children. That responsibility is ours.
Hey,
cases like Celeste do not end when the news cycle turns. They linger in silence, in the quiet after a headline fades, in the corners of online forums, in the grief that never leaves a family's home. The internet rushes towards spectacle, then moves on. But for the people closest to her, for the community who lit candles in Lake Elsinore, there is no moving on. There is only the wound. And it forces us to look in directions most of us would rather not. At fandoms that worship artists to the point of blindness. At parents and peers who miss the subtle signals. At companies and platforms that profit from constant connectivity but accept almost no responsibility for the lives shattered within their servers. Grooming does not happen in shadows alone. It happens in timelines, in fan edits, in chats disguised as harmless, where a child can be convinced that secrecy is love and silence is loyalty. Celeste was 15. That is the part that cannot be softened. 15 is not maturity. 15 is not consent. 15 is a child who should have been allowed to grow without the weight of an adult's desire, an adult's power, an adult's secrecy. The story of Celeste ends in a car trunk in Los Angeles. But the story of how she got there, the whispers, the fandom defenses, the ignored signals, that story is everywhere, right now. In the screen you scroll. In the server your child is in. In the account that never shows their face. Do not let silence win. Do not let denial disguise itself as loyalty. Care is not paranoia. Care is protection. And care is the only thing that keeps the next story from ending the way this one did.